I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and we are at Brick House Plantation on Johns Island talking with homeowners Sharon and John. How are you folks?
We're great.
Great, thanks.
Good. Well, thank you so much for allowing us into your home. And we're here today to talk about your brand new house that was built by Cinder Creek Construction. And you folks have been in your house about a month now. Is that right?
That's right, yes.
Good. Well, we're right here in the foyer, and we've got this beautiful custom-made door. But before we get into some of the aspects of the house, tell us why you chose Cinder Creek Construction to build your beautiful new custom home.
Well, we looked at a lot of different builders, but when we went out and met with Neil and Kara, we were really blown away by their definition of quality and their attention to the smallest details, and that was exactly what we were looking for in a builder. And we've gotten everything we wanted.
Terrific. And it took about 8 months or so to build your 3,000 square foot house?
It did. I don't think it would take as long as you didn't have to get permitted for, septic system and all that sort of thing. It would probably take a little bit less, but 8 months, was all it took.
Great. Well, you always hear these stories about how when you start a project, you're best friends with your builder, and then by the end, you kind of want to wring their neck. Is that's not the case though here with Cinder Creek?
No, it's not. And believe me, we've heard the horror stories with some of our friends and their builders about what happened, and we've actually had that experience too, way in the past. But not this time. They've been really good. Anytime we've called, they've been right out, or they've had somebody to come right out right away.
So you folks have built a home before?
Many moons ago.
How does that experience compare with this building experience?
Night and day. That was our first house. We were very young at the time when we built the first time. This time, a lot more experience, not necessarily with building, but with life in general, and kind of knew what we were looking for.
Well, that's great. Well, it's a beautiful house, and you've just walked me around. Now we're going to go ahead and walk our listeners, viewers, and readers around the house as well. Let's start with the front door, because you had mentioned that you really wanted kind of a French colonial look to the style for your house. Tell us about that.
Well, it kind of evolved that way. What we told Neil that we wanted was something with a lot of outdoor living spaces, that it really just as much living outside as inside. And so he designed us a Caribbean-style home, island style, which we absolutely loved. And we got more into that architecture style and realized that it was based on French colonial. It was all about the same. So that's why we kind of chose the arches here in keeping up with that tradition.
Very good, very good. And let's go ahead and kind of walk in from the foyer into you enter into a great room here, a family room.
This is our main living area here, where we watch TV, have friends over. It looks out over the pool. So it's been great while it's been cold, and we're hoping it's going to be even better when it warms up.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you can get a shot of these windows here, Matt, quite a few windows right here in your family room. And what makes these windows different from other windows that folks have?
Well, I guess one thing, they're impact resistant. One thing I definitely wanted with the house was to be as hurricane proof as my money could buy. And we were actually here when the guy was running the gas lines under the house, and he came out and he said, "Y'all aren't planning to leave when the hurricane comes, are you?" So that made me feel really good, because you kind of have to depend on your builder for that, because I don't know. Of course, they said the Titanic wouldn't sink either, but I figured it wasn't built by Cinder Creek, so we're all good. But yeah, all those windows, it lets the light in, makes the room look twice as big than it is. It's really been nice. Now, when I have to clean them, I may have a different opinion. But.
Yeah, and these are impact rated windows, meaning they can they'll take a strike by debris and won't necessarily won't crash through like you would find with normal windows, right?
Right, exactly.
Good deal. And some of the other aspects of this hurricane resistant house. The builder Neil Crowell with Cinder Creek was telling me it's a poured in place foundation. And Neil, do you mind just having a quick word? Why is a poured in place foundation better than, say, a cinder block foundation in terms of hurricane protection?
When you pour a concrete wall, a solid pour like we do downstairs here, there are no voids, there's no gaps, there is no chance that there's going to be a weak spot in the foundation from the house down through the footing. It is solid concrete, rebar tied. It's just not going to go anywhere.
That's great. It's always important to start with a strong foundation, right? Well, show us around here. I see we have a formal dining room over here to the side.
Formal dining room here. We asked Neil to give us a nice sized dining room for a small home, which he absolutely did. We have had some meals here, but mostly we want to be able to eat outside on the porch. Just the two of us. John and I usually eat in the kitchen, which we can go in there if you like.
And one of the first things that you can't help but notice are these beautiful wood floors. Can you tell our listeners, viewers, and readers about that?
I'll let John do that. He's the wood guy.
Well, Sharon had a few criteria. She wanted wide boards, and she wanted it to look like it had been here forever, and she wanted a dark wood. So we went through several different suppliers of wood floor and came up with this, which really met our needs exactly right. It's a walnut, 5-inch wide walnut board with a French bleed and what they call a foot worn system that it makes it look like it's been here forever. It's got it doesn't have a glossy finish on it, and we found that it among the many things that we like about it is it takes wear and tear very easily. You can kind of scuff it up and it looks like it was supposed to be there.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about a nick or a scratch here or there because it's already a bit weathered and distressed already. Well, that's awesome, and I love these columns right here also as you just enter the house. So let's move on over to the kitchen and Sharon, you were telling me that you've had big kitchens in the past, and where everyone seems to congregate, and for your home, your new home, you wanted a little bit of a smaller kitchen. Tell our listeners, readers, and viewers about that.
Yeah, I did. I'd had a bigger kitchen in the past, and every time I have a party, of course, everybody congregates in there, and it's really hard for the caterer or myself to get trays and things through and to work with all the people around. So this time I decided not to do an open kitchen concept, just to have it kind of mostly closed off, and I've really enjoyed that so far.
Terrific. And I see off of the kitchen you've got some beautiful outdoor living space. Is it okay for us to walk out here? What kind of decking do you have out here? Is this Ipe?
It's Ipe.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And this will
It weathers. You don't have to stain it or paint it or anything. You just put it down and let it go.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the first thing you notice is the multi-tiered decks that you have instead of just the same level flat deck. Why did you folks decide to have a kind of a sunken deck here?
Well, that was Neil's idea. To step down to the next level, you can actually see over the deck, the deck rails. So when you're sitting up here, you've got a clear view. And
then, of course, the beautiful swimming pool, and that looks like about a 10,000-gallon swimming pool.
It's a little over 7,000 gallons.
Excellent, and I see you've got the automatic pool cover that's integrated into the swimming pool and housed right over here, and which doubles as a nice seating area as well. What made you folks decide to get a automatic pool cover?
Well, Neil put us onto that, and once he explained to us the benefit of it and how it actually operated, it was kind of a no-brainer. The only real question was whether we could get it into the budget, and we were able to do that. So we're really glad that we did. It keeps it clean, and it also provides a good safety shield too, because you can actually walk on the cover.
There you go. And obviously, if there, you folks are empty nesters, but at some point there might be some grandchildren running around here, and to be able to walk inside and not have to worry about the grandkids out here, you just turn a key and close that automatic pool cover, and you're completely safe.
Hopefully. Hopefully, also with a watchful eye.
There you go. And this is I really love the size of this deck. There's certainly a lot of elbow room out here. It's very, very quiet too, I noticed as well. And then we've got the steps down into the swimming pool. The outdoor living space was important to you, Sharon. Tell our listeners, viewers, and readers about that.
Well, I think living here in Charleston is just important that you can live outside, spend a lot of time outside. And so that's what I wanted. I would just want to be able to get out in the spring and the summer and enjoy it.
Yeah, and you mentioned that the predominant breezes come out of the south here. So if you folks chose to, you can always put up your windows and enjoy the breezes as well when the weather allow.
Absolutely, and we fully intend to do that too.
We spend a lot of time outside too. In the evenings and weekends, we have sound in the ceilings here, and we like to sit out here and enjoy living in Charleston.
And I noticed the ceiling you've got. It looks like the very low maintenance vinyl beadboard, which all you got to do is take your hose on that and rinse it down, and that's very, very convenient.
Low maintenance was important for just about every decision that we made in building the house.
What other aspects of the house did you take into consideration to make sure that it was low maintenance?
Well, the hardy plank. We like the ipe or the ipe decking that really needs no maintenance. The pool cover to help keep the pool clean, and just various things like that.
All right. Well, good. Do we have? Is there any other outdoor living areas that we need to talk about out here?
The dock. We have the dock that goes down. It has seating at the end of it. We eventually will have the backyard pulled together with maybe another area out there for seating or entertaining.
And we hope that when the weather warms up, that we'll be able to eat most of our meals outside. We've got this harvest table over here that will seat a number of people, and hopefully we can entertain there as well.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's continue our tour and head back on inside. Okay. Well, now we're in your master bedroom, and I see you've got you're taking advantage of all those beautiful views that you have in your backyard. You've got your master bedroom in the rear of the house to take advantage of that, and right off of the master bedroom is your master bath. Take us on a tour of your master bath.
Okay. Originally it was designed to have a tub in it, and we decided that we'd rather have a really large shower. So we took the tub out and we enlarged the shower. And as Kara calls it, it's a car wash, but we like it.
Yeah, I see quite a number of handles and that are controlling a rain shower head, and then you've got several other shower heads as well.
Body sprays and the handheld and the rain shower and just everything you could want in a shower, hopefully.
And I see you went with some river rock on the floor, and how's that feel on your feet when you're taking a shower?
It feels really good. It's like a little foot massage when you get in there. That's flatter than some at the River Rock. We had a shower in our other home that had the little more rounder River Rock in it, and that was fine too.
And I like the half wall here. It gives a little extra privacy as well, and the dual vanities. I like the multi-level vanities as well. That adds some interest to the bathroom, and of course you have your water closet off to the side for even more privacy. Were you pretty satisfied with how the master bath turned out?
Absolutely, we couldn't be happier.
It's very beautiful, very beautiful. Got the tile floor, keeping with the hard surfaces throughout the house. That maybe in the past you may have used some carpeting, and this time around you decided to choose hardwood and tile. Was there a reason for that?
Carpet gets dirty. It doesn't matter how good a housekeeper you are. Eventually it's going to have to be replaced. I think wood floors, they can get scratched and scuffed a little bit, but it just kind of gives them character. You don't really, unless you just super damage it, you'd really never have to replace them.
That's true. All right, and then we've got this nice master closet here, and which you folks both share. Is that right? And it's neat as a pin. You folks fight over space?
No, actually, I have more clothes than Sharon does.
He does.
But we designed this together, and I built it, and it has turned out to be very functional.
Mm-hmm. And you're probably the exception to the rule, where you've chose not to have a door on this closet, and you can get away with that. Most people probably cannot, with being a little bit more cluttered. Okay, well, we're continuing on, and we're up here on the second floor. First thing I notice is there's not a lot of echoes. You would think in a big room with the tall ceilings, this is what, like about 20 feet?
20 feet, yeah.
20 feet.
You'd think there would be a lot of echoes, and there's not. I guess the house must be very well insulated.
I guess it must be. You'll have to talk to Neil about that.
All right. So up here, what do we have in the second level?
We have 2 guest rooms and an open space that I use for my office, and we have a little kitchenette down the hall.
And you mentioned that you have quite a few out-of-town guests that come to visit, and you have them stay up here. They enjoy the little wet bar that you have up here and everything.
Yes, I think so. When you go to visit somebody's house, you don't want to ask for something to eat or something to drink constantly or every time you turn around. So we put a little kitchenette up here. Actually, Neil thought of it. It was his design. And it's turned out very, very well. They get up earlier than we do. They can make coffee. They can grab a snack during the day if they so desire, whatever they need.
That's nice. And that wet bar is
It's this way.
It's this way. Okay. I got turned around a little bit. Yeah, that's nice, because it does give your guests a nice sense of almost being at a hotel, having
It's like a little bed and breakfast.
Exactly. And how many bathrooms upstairs?
2.
2 bathrooms, so they have their own suites, and then they can come out here and get some coffee, some fruit, and what have you, and
juice, or have a glass of wine before they go to bed, whatever they want.
Very nice, very nice. And I like how you've got your electrical panels hidden away up here in the second level, and not anywhere near in sight of.
Speaking of hiding, this coffered ceiling turned out to be a great addition. It was not in the original plan. Turned out that this was the only place we could have the access to the attic, and Neil came up with this design to hide the access hole, and it turned out to be one of my favorite parts of the house.
Well, you've brought up a couple of things that Neil ended up suggesting. It sounds like you folks encountered a number of challenges, like anyone does when they're building a house. And tell us about some of those challenges and how Cinder Creek Construction was able to help you overcome those challenges.
Well, I think the challenges were minimal. It's been one of our best experiences building this house. Neil's real good about keeping us advised of all of our options, what the cost of each option is, and the pros and cons of each one. And I can say that virtually every decision that we made along the way, I can't say that I would do it differently.
Very nice. What would you tell some of your friends if they were considering building a house in terms of the advantages of maybe working with Cinder Creek Construction?
Well, just put it this way: we have referred our daughter and future son-in-law to Neil, and he's going to build their house.
Terrific. Well, that obviously says an awful lot, because that old thing about going to a restaurant, if you don't have a good meal, you're supposed to tell them that you didn't have a good experience. Most people don't. They just leave and say they'll never come back. And that could have been the case. You could have, the builder may not have ever known that there was a problem, and he would have never known about that. But in this case, that's the ultimate compliment, obviously, is for you to refer business, and not just to a friend, but to a family member as well.
And our daughter. So we want to make sure she's in good hands.
Absolutely. Anything else you'd like to say about your experience with Cinder Creek Construction?
Just that it's been a really, really good one. We have a lot of friends that have said, "How's your experience been?" Expecting us to come up with all these, oh my God, stories. But it's just been wonderful. It just has not been a thorn in our side at all.
And we haven't mentioned Kara either. Kara's a great part of that team.
Kara being the builder's wife.
Mm-hmm. And you come up with an issue, and you'll identify that as either a Neil issue or a Kara issue. She helped us with most of our selections and most of the scheduling. And
she's real good with design also.
So Kara helped out with some of the finishes in the house, and then Neil was the nuts and bolts guy, making sure that the house was built correctly. Is that right?
That's pretty much it. Mm-hmm.
And one other thing that we probably should mention as well is our daughter is a graduate interior designer, and she helped us along the way with. She was in school while we were designing the home. Helped us along the way with a lot of those decisions, and has helped us a great deal with getting the finishing touches done.
Excellent. Okay, well, you have a beautiful home here, and as you've been in it a little over a month. You moved in right before Christmas, so I'm sure that was a very special Christmas. What would you say the best part about the building process with Cinder Creek Construction would be?
Oh gosh, that's hard to say. Everything, I think, from the design process down to just the finishing touches, everything has been really, really good. I mean, it's hard to believe, I know, but it has been.
Well, how open to and inevitably this happens with everyone. You have your house plans, but as you start construction, you want to make certain adjustments and everything. How open was Cinder Creek Construction to some of those changes that you wanted to make along the way?
Oh, very open. Of course, they let you know up front that once the plans are done, any changes are going to cost you money. But a lot of things that we didn't even think about, and I can't even pinpoint one right now, but there were some things that we didn't even think about that Neil or Kara would say, you might want to think about doing this or this sort of thing.
So they could have just kept their mouth shut and built it as is, but they kind of went the extra yard to, even though it might have created a little extra work for them, to do these things. They were making these suggestions basically on your behalf to make sure that you had the best possible house built.
Absolutely.
Terrific. Well, once again, I want to thank you folks for allowing us into your home, and we look forward to seeing the story that we're going to be writing about this house, and it's certainly going to show up beautifully. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.